his hands as though the taste had gone sour. Diocail realized it was because a young boy was looking at it as well, his eyes glistening with hunger. Muir lifted the food toward the boy, and the lad scampered up the 3 steps to the high ground to snatch it. "Even though I am no in the habit of questioning the Lord's will," Muir growled out between them, "I confess, I wonder why that man was graced with such a long life when he sat at this table feasting while his own men starved." "It makes me see why no one else was willing to defend him," Diocail answered. "Seems it was justice that saw him stabbed in his own bedchamber." "A justice ye did your best to shield him from." Muir sent him a hard look. "He was me laird," Diocail answered, "a man I had sworn to protect. His lack of character did no release me from the bonds of honour, yet I confess, I am grateful I lost that battle, and I am no sorry to see so. The bastard needed to die for what he's allowed the Gordons to become." "Aye," Muir agreed, looking out at the hall once more. There was now a cluster of children in front of the high table, all silently begging for scraps. All of them were thin, telling him that they weren't just intent on being gluttons. No, they were starving. And that was a shame. A shame on the Gordon name and Diocail's duty to rectify. He waved them forward. They came in a stumbling stampede, muttering words of gratitude as they reached for the platter sitting in front of him and Muir. The platter was picked clean in moments. Diocail stood up. The hall quieted as his men turned to listen to him. "I will address the shortage of food." A cheer went up as Diocail made his way down the steps from the high ground and into the kitchen. Muir fell into step beside him. The kitchen was down a passageway and built alongside the hall. Inside the kitchen was a smoke-filled hell that made Diocail's eyes smart and the back of his throat itch. He fought the urge to cough and hack. It was hardly the way to begin a conversation with his staff. "The weather is fine and warm," he declared. "Open the shutters." Instead of acting, all the women working at the long table stood frozen, staring at him. Their faces were covered in soot from the conditions of the kitchen. Many of them had fabric wrapped around their heads, covering every last hair in an effort to keep the smoke from it. Muir opened a set of doors to try and clear the air. Diocail looked at the hearths and realized the smoke wasn't rising up the chimneys. No, it was pouring into the kitchen, and the closed shutters kept it there. The staff suddenly scurried into a line to face him. They lined up shoulder to shoulder, looking at the ground, their hands worrying the folds of their stained skirts. "Where is the head of house?" he asked softly. It was God's truth that he'd rather face 20 men alone than the line of quivering females who clearly thought he was there to chastise them. Colum had truly been a bastard of a laird. He'd made his people suffer when the true duty of the laird was to serve the clan. One of the women lifted her hand and pointed. Diocail peered through the clearing gloom and spotted the head of house. She was 70 years old if she was a day. Whoever she was deep in her cups and sitting in a chair on the far side of the kitchen as she sang and swayed. "Sweet Christ, little wonder the supper is a poor one," Muir remarked next to Diocail's ear. "Who is her second in charge?" The women continued to look at the floor. 2 of them were beginning to whimper. Muir took a step back, but Diocail reached out and grabbed the man's kilt. "Do nae ye dare leave me here alone," he muttered under his breath. "Someone must be making decisions," Diocail said as gently as he could in an effort to coax one of the women forward. What did he know of speaking to frightened females? 2 more started crying, proving his knowledge was extremely lacking. Their tears left smears down their cheeks. "Mercy, Laird," a young woman wailed. "I need me position, I swear. I will serve less. Please do not dismiss me." The entire group suddenly